Good morning, one and all. First off, I'd like to start by asking one important question. What is good? What is a good deed? Different definitions have been concocted by philosophers and other professions over the years, keying into social and ethical aspects. But humanity has gone through so many massive developments, and what we have learned is one simple thing, that we are not perfect. And we can always be more good, more better, and just a better soul than our previous day. My name is Sujay Sanjit, and I study in GEMS Cambridge International School. Thank you for this platform, and I welcome you to my TED Talk. So, first off, I'd like to start by saying that in prehistoric times, humans delved into one simple problem, which was us versus them. We faced a lot of challenges in gathering resources, scarcity, and basic survival, and our instinct matched our perspicacity against dinosaurs and other organisms. And we managed to rise above it all because we worked together for our survival. And we managed to rise above it and cross that stage of development known as us versus them. But right now, we face one intricate problem that we still have not crossed. Humans are just not as developed. That is the us versus us stage. We still fight amongst each other for petty issues. For petty issues that do not matter, will not impact us as much as possible, and yet we still fight. Sometimes we fight because we're immature. Sometimes we fight because just for the matter of it, just to prove who the bigger person is. We have such fragile egos, and that's why there's still problems that exist, such as racism, sexism, nationalism, and patriotism. We simply have not crossed that stage, and when we cross that stage, it will only be when we know what a good deed is and what good is. And when we come to a joint definition where everybody is on the same viewpoint, same perspective, that is only when we will cross that developmental stage. Now, first off, to define or to answer that question, I'd like to delve into the works of a great philosopher, Immanuel Kant. Immanuel Kant here now said that humans, in order for a functioning society, have to follow this basic, simple moral code or a universal law. This moral code states that when you decide to do an action, you should think about everybody else doing that same action. If you would really want to live in a world where everybody is doing that same action, if you think that you would be at peace, you would be happy where everybody did that. And your actions simply are a cause of your choice. You have total power and total control over your actions. Now, when you have total control and total power, you symbolize what is good. You decide what is good. And you think that consequences for actions do not exist. That is the main dilemma Immanuel Kant described when he was using this theology. He said that if there are no consequences for your actions, how would you know what is good? Yes, there is a universal code. Yes, there is a moral code. But if everyone does not follow that, if everyone does not know what to abide by, youngsters and elders, if they do not know what to abide by, then how will the society function? And that is what Immanuel Kant said. But if Immanuel Kant said, if what he said had a dilemma, why not approach this question with another point of view? Perhaps a utilitarianistic point of view by the great philosopher Jeremy Bentham. Now, Jeremy Bentham said that it is the greatest happiness of the greatest number that is the measure of right and wrong. When you do an action, you think to yourself, how much happiness would this achieve over pain? Now, let's say that you do an action and it achieves 10 points for happiness and 9 points for pain. So that means that action, according to utilitarianism, is a good action. This technically justifies throwing one person under the bus to save 10 people. Now, to all of you, that might sound like the best option there. But this is not a functioning society. When we think about surviving, we have to think about saving all the 11 people, because that is what coming together is. That is what diversity is. And that is what us people have to do. We have to think about each and every one of us. We have to think about everybody's opinions, perspectives. That is what respecting each other is. That is what basic respect is. We have to think about one simple thing. And that is what we owe to each other. See, us students, right, we face this simple problem, right? That this feelings, all these feelings that we have, we keep it in ourselves. We bottle it up. We have fear, anger, jealousy, and most importantly, anxiety. If I say something, will other people judge me? If I say something, will other people think different of me? Am I doing the good thing? Am I doing a bad thing? Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing too good? Am I doing too bad? No, nobody knows, because that anxiety is still there. And people are afraid to pour out the feelings. People do not respect the feelings or the person that they're saying it to, because they think that bottling it up solves everything, but it does not. It just increases the problem, because what it does is it affects the mental and physical state so much that every single minute, every single second you wake up, your heart will be heavy. Your mind will be somewhere else. You wouldn't know what to do in your classes. You wouldn't know what to do in your exams. Not because you're not capable enough, not because you do not have the ability, but just because there are so many variables affecting what you're thinking. That is the main issue. Because we humans, students, teachers, parents, every single profession that exists, we simply would not speak the truth. We simply do not speak from the heart, because what we think is that we are afraid of judgments, and that is what we have to not centralize in order to find out what is good, in order to answer that simple question. See, what we owe to each other is something that we have to address, because as humans, one human to another, the simple fact that we have to do, the simple thing that we have to do, is that we have to address the feelings that we have. There's only value that exists for those feelings if you share them. If you share them, if you pour them out, there exists that discussion that happens. And when that discussion happens, you feel a little bit lighter. You feel a sense of enjoyment. You feel a sense of fulfillment. You feel a sense of satisfaction. And that is why humans created this whole concept of emotions and feelings. That is why we control the world. The world is in our mere fingertips, because we have this thing where we can express emotions. We have the power of language, power of understanding each other. And if we don't use that, what is the point? What is the simple point? There is no society if you don't value the society. And some people might say, I don't have anybody to talk to. I don't have friends. I don't have a social life. I don't have this. I don't have that. But you forget one thing. The best, the most important friends that you have to have. If you have nobody to talk to, you must remember this. The first people that you met when you came into this world are your most important friends, your parents. Your parents would be your number one friend, and they would care more about you, arguably more than you care about yourself. And that is why you should be totally honest with them. The power of honesty and the power of just pouring out your feelings removes the variables, removes the right and wrong, because to your parents, you're just their child trying to navigate within the various possibilities, various pathways of what is right and wrong, various challenges of what the world has to offer. That is why you have to respect the feelings that we have. That is good. Speak the truth. Do a good deed, not because it achieves moral desert, not because you're going to get something out of it, not because you're going to achieve something, everybody's going to think better of you. Do a good deed because do it for yourself. Do it because it nourishes your soul. Speak to somebody about what you really feel, and do not talk behind their back, because that just makes the relationship a little bit more ill. Do something better tomorrow, and that small deed can make the world a shade better. Change starts from us. Change starts from each and every one of you. Thank you.